I'm very excited because joining me right now is Leigh Anne from Little Mix.
They've sold over 45 million records worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of the most successful girl bands in the whole wide world.
Nearly 10 years ago, my pop star dream became a reality. And since that moment, I've not stopped. I love it. I'm so grateful for this crazy roller coaster life. But sometimes, I felt I was being treated differently to my bandmates because of the colour of my skin.
For so many years, people always look at us as less.
Down, no matter what you're going through.
It's something I wanted to speak about for a long time, but I didn't think anyone was listening.
Why do I feel like invisible? And for so long, people would say to me, it's in your head. We have been in a bubble, I think. Now that's kind of like burst.
I want to find out what I can do to fight the racism and prejudice I see around me.
It is always predominantly white, always.
To understand how the world discriminates against dark-skinned black women.
If I was some shades darker, would I be sat here right now?
And look at how my industry treats other black artists.
They told me and said, we've got one black person, we can't have another.
Taking the fight right to the top of the music business.
I don't want it to just be a conversation. I don't want it to just be a black square.
Some people aren't ready to this conversation. There's a problem, let's address it. Let's all address it together. So today we are shooting for the new album. I love fashion, I love clothes. The girls always say that this life was made for me. They think I'm bougie, but I'm really not.
Oh, I've got bastard glitter in your coffee.
To be fair, I've always wanted that pop star life.
What did you do with your tongue?
Just stuck it out.
I'm not very cool with your tongue.
You're really good with your tongue. I always see you stick it.
When we first got together, us girls, we were like best friends instantly.
Leigh Anne, what are we doing today?
We are here shooting for our brand new campaign.
We have so much fun, and just like the magic when we sing together is something else.
From the sky drop like confetti. All eyes on me. So happy. All of my dreams from the sky drop like confetti.
As a child, the only time I ever experienced racism was one time at primary school. A boy handed me a note that just said, "Name Leigh Anne, age 9, from the jungle." I was devastated. I'd never been made to feel like I didn't belong before. It turned out I wouldn't be made to feel like that again until my life changed overnight a decade later.
That's the sound of 10,000 people celebrating a historic win for Little Mix, the first girl band to win the X Factor.
It's just insane. Oh my God, we're so happy. Winning X Factor and becoming a pop star was everything I ever wanted. But before we'd even signed the record deal, things started to happen that now feel a bit off. On the X Factor, when they dyed my hair red and shaved it, made me look like the Rihanna. I was 20 at the time, and I guess a bit naive. Looking back, it's clear my colour was being used to define my image within the group. Those things, when I think back to it, and I'm just like, wow. Then there was other stuff that started to happen, which made me feel different to the other girls. We did a radio tour. We got off the plane, and there were some fans standing waiting for us, and I was the first to kind of walk up to them, and they just walked past me. I went to the other girls. Like, it was so weird. It was never like someone racially abusing me.
Because we have 3 mega fans.
It's just like little things that happen regularly.
So, right, first, which member of Little Mix are you most like?
I'm more like Perry. I'm Jade. I'd say Jessie because she's got a really cool, like, an edgy style. It's fine.
Cool. Okay.
All of these little feelings, if you can imagine, they just built up. And it was something that I could never fully explain. And you can't pretend like it's not happening. Feeling invisible, feeling like people will just look past me. For the next decade, I was in a pop bubble with all the success I'd ever dreamt of. It's been back-to-back albums, tours, awards, and video shoots.
What is life?
Mermaid coming through! Oh my god, this is insane! Oh, I feel like a queen!
I'm in the biggest girl band in the world. I have a fiancé. We have a lovely house. It's like, what have you got to be upset about? But all of that stuff doesn't matter. And all that matters is that feeling, and that feeling that just doesn't go away. Like, it keeps hurting and hurting. And wondering, is it my colour? Like, all these questions. Pushing myself constantly to do better, because I just wanted to be on that same level. And it's like, nothing I did would get me there. In March 2020, we flew to Brazil to do a show.
Where are we, Claude?
São Paulo.
That's mad.
So we landed, and from that moment it was Leigh Anne, Leigh Anne. The crowd going mad for me, and I was like, what? Like, I've never seen or heard anything like it. There was so many black people in our audience, and I have never felt that love. I have never felt so accepted. After that, I saw that maybe race did have a part to play in how I was feeling. Now I've got so many questions I was too scared to ask before.
I think I drink too much. No, I think too much.
The pandemic has forced us to cancel our tour dates, so I've now got the time I need to start really looking at my identity and the world around me. My parents are my rock, and over the years, they're the only people I felt I could talk to about how I was feeling.
Hello, you're right.
Lovely to see you.
You too.
How you doing, alright?
Good, nice shirt.
Thank you.
I'll just heat those up.
I haven't seen any of these pictures.
Really?
My mum is half Bayesian and my dad's half Jamaican. Both their dads arrived here in the 60s, and as a family, we're really proud of our Caribbean heritage.
Come on, Grandad. Bless him.
They would have got stick, both of our dads, for being with white women.
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't have gone down well at all.
So you're both mixed race. I mean, did you say you identify as black?
I'm black as far as I'm concerned. Okay. We grew up in a black culture, so therefore we listen to black music, we cook West Indian food. That was a culture at home. It was a West Indian house.
This is my thing. So like when people say things like, oh, but you're mixed race, when it's like, but I've always said that I do identify as black. Like, I don't really bother saying mixed race.
Because even if you're mixed race, you're not white, you will suffer from racism. So,
I mean, you do identify as black?
I mean, you don't like to be
I
identified.
like to identify myself as John Pinnock. Because that's who I am.
That's what you've done growing up as well. Like, you haven't let your colour define you.
Yes.
You never let us think that anything was going to hold us back.
No.
Yes, we knew there was racism. We knew that we were living amongst racist people. But it was almost as if, well, there's nothing we can do about that. We just have to get on.
So when I came to you guys crying, upset, because I felt lost, invisible, What was your initial thought? Like,
At the time, I thought to myself, Leigh Anne, toughen up, get yourself together. You're in a good position. Get on with it. Don't moan about it. But now I realise life is not having loads of money or this and that. If you're not feeling right within yourself, you're not going to feel right, are you?
yeah. You would all say that to me. You would be like, look where you are. You're still earning the same money. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But oh God, I'm going to get upset.
Oh, don't cry, Leigh Anne.
Come on, let it out.
Come on, yeah. Oh, come on.
I was carrying a lot, like, never ever feeling good enough. And I feel like it ruined a lot of my experience, which should have been the best time of my life.
Yeah.
It's just fucking frustrating.
I know. It is frustrating. It was hard, but it's hard for us to make you realise it's not because you know that you're not as good as them, because you are, which is sad, really. But
yeah, but this is what our parents would have said. You know, oh, just get on with it. Stop being silly. So we're doing the same thing, but I can see.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But what's difficult would be what could we have said to have made you feel better?
Yeah.
Exactly. I think when we figured out what it was, that probably just made me feel worse, because I was like, oh great, now what? Like, what do I do now? Well, I can't hide the fact that I'm black, like, and my situation is minuscule compared to what is actually going on in this world, like, to black people.
But you can use your voice and your experiences to help other people and to let other people know that, you know, things are going to change.
Yeah. Right. See you guys.
Yeah. Right, bye.
All right, love you. Bye.
In the US, there's been violence between police and protesters in Minneapolis following the death of George Floyd, a black man who was filmed lying in the street, struggling to breathe, with a police officer's knee on his neck.
Oh, Jesus.
Cell phone video of the arrest shows him handcuffed and pleading for air.
Being a black person and watching that and knowing like that could be my son, my daughter, it's like a rage inside. I feel like I am in quite a unique position.
Being a black girl in the pop industry with a predominantly white fan base, I do feel like I have a responsibility to speak out.
I can use my voice to try and do something. Hi everyone. Firstly, I just want to send my condolences to George Floyd's family and all the other families that have lost someone due to police brutality and racism. There comes a point in every black human's life, no matter how much money you have or what you have achieved, you realise racism does not exclude you. You learn to understand you can't be seen to be too loud or too opinionated, otherwise you're deemed a diva or aggressive. Our reality is no matter how far you think you have come, racism exists. It exists in sports, in the creative industries, in politics and policies, in the streets and in the hearts of racist individuals. We are no longer in a position where we need to be quiet on this matter. Thank you.
Now's the time to speak up properly about it and not really hold back. But if you read enough comments, you see people say that you should just shut up about it, you know what I mean? And be happy with how far you've come. Like, your country or the world can't be racist because where you are now, so she knows that she is going to get backlash off this and whatever, because that's just the world we live in.
Something like this, speaking about race, I get scared. Am I going to say the wrong thing? Am I going to offend someone? But it's like, yeah, I probably will say the wrong thing. Like, I'm human. I'm still on this journey. I'm still learning myself. Like, but I'd rather say something, say it maybe not entirely right, than say nothing. It doesn't matter if you're a pop star or a professional footballer like Andre.
Hello!
The world is waking up and we're determined to be a part of it.
I've never been to a protest before. I'm not putting the bandana on. I'm not. Andre wants me to match him. Oh, shit. You'd think we was already married, wouldn't you? Yeah. Jesus.
I reckon there's probably...
Oh, thousands. Thousands. Yeah.
Nobody has really wanted to speak about race in the pop bubble I've been living in.
That's her. Okay.
I want to hear what others think I can do to actively help this fight.
So you girls know that I'm in Little Mix. How do you think I need to use my platform?
You have to come and support. You need to be on the streets. You need to be doing everything that you can. This isn't just about you.
Education is key. You need to find that information. Don't wait for it to come to you. You use the tools you have, the people around you, to read what you need to read, to watch what you need to watch, listen out what you need to listen to.
Yeah, address colorism. There's racism, but colorism is a big thing as well.
But you can't share anything that you don't understand. So it's really important that you self-educate. There are areas in England that don't have this many black people. And I'm sure there's a mixed race girl in that town who's looking at you thinking, you know what, I want to know my history. I want to know what do you know what I mean? So just keep doing what you're doing because it means the most.
Why you sat round upset looking all lazy? I've been there too, but I never let it faze me.
What the girls on the march said really struck me. If I'm going to speak up on this, I need to educate myself.
If your name sounds British rather than African or Asian, you're more likely to get the job interview. It's as simple as that.
Just because I'm black, I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert on different types of racism or knowing what the solutions are.
Unconscious bias are unintentional, deeply ingrained, and we all have them.
The internet's been flooded with people educating each other and explaining different terminology.
That's why you have institutional racism.
You look like you're studying for an exam.
This is just really new for me. Since I got put into the group, I feel like I've been in, not a cage for 9 years, but I haven't, as much as I've felt my experiences, I haven't actually explored any of this. Like, all I really know is my own experiences. So very proud of Leigh Anne, and I know how much this hurt you then.
I cannot believe the response since posting my Insta video.
I feel you so much, here for you always.
One blast from the past who got in touch was the choreographer for our first Little Mix video. Frank Gatson, who was Beyoncé's creative director, left a comment that's really touched me.
We were just in rehearsals and it was quite a militant way of working.
Nobody needs to help you but your
We were also nervous.
You understand?
And he just turned to me and he just said, "You're the black girl, you're gonna have to work 10 times harder."
I didn't really understand it at the time, but that comment 9 years ago has really stuck with me.
So I'm really intrigued to speak to Frank. Hi. I want to know what made him say that to me. You haven't changed a bit. You look younger. I saw the comment that you left on my Instagram as well. Like, thank you for reaching out. I just want to know why you felt like you had to say I would have to work harder because I'm the black girl. What was you kind of thinking at the time? Like, why did you think it was so important to tell me like that?
I just saw myself. I saw the little brown girl sitting over there, you know, really nervous. Like, it's a white world, you know, and I got to make her know the secret. We got to be the best. We got to walk right. We got to sing right. We got to work right. We got to, you know, the choreography better. We got to do everything to be the best that we can be. Because for so many years, people always look at us as less. And so therefore, here comes your big brother, your daddy, your uncle, whatever you want to call me. Let me go over here and hold her hand through this, and let me give her my speech that I gave Ashley Everett of, you know, the speech that I gave in Vogue. You know, you understand? We have to be the best that we can be. You know, because we're representing our race. Leigh Anne, you know, I'm just curious. When I said what I said to you, what did you think at that moment, really?
If I'm completely honest,
Please?
I thought it was a little bit rude because I didn't understand it, and I think I nervously laughed, like, huh? It's just crazy how it was so alien.
Yeah.
Because I've never ever been told that. Like, my parents never ever said to me, "You're gonna need to work harder." Like, they never ever brought my race into it. I found out for myself because I wasn't prepared for what was gonna happen after you said that.
Today I'm back in the studio to record my parts for our 6th album.
Okie dokie. Right, do you want to do the harmonies first?
I just want to make sure we got all the leads first.
Yeah. Trust me, my love, won't let you down.
Yo! Love that last line. That was so good, Leigh.
Since posting my Insta video, loads of different people have been getting in touch.
Keisha from the Sugar Babes just sent me a voice note.
Hey sis, I just want to say I'm super proud of you. You're an inspiration for your fans. You're an inspiration for me also.
I'm getting messages from others in the music industry every day, especially from fellow black women.
I want people to see me for me and then make a judgment on that and not...
Many of them have been speaking out as well. I want to hear their experiences face to face to help decide how I can use my platform in this fight. As well as Keisha from the Sugar Babes, I've invited Alexandra Burke, who also made an Insta video.
And I got told, right, you can't have braids, you can't have an afro, you can't have anything that basically is my identity.
R&B soul artist Neo.
I hadn't really seen someone that looked like me.
And singer-songwriter Ray, whose video of a black friend being refused entry to a restaurant went viral.
You let my white friend in, and you don't let my black friend in. It's racist.
I just want to start by saying thank you so much for being here and hopefully being open and honest, talking about your experiences. Like, it's just amazing that we can all get into this room, and I feel like I'm in the presence of greatness just saying. But yeah, thank you for being here. I've been in my group for like 9 years, and for so long I thought, people would say to me it's in your head, and I started to think, okay, maybe it is. So maybe I'll do whatever I can to improve my vocals, I'll make sure I speak more in interviews, do whatever I have to do to better myself, because whatever's going on now, it's not good enough. Right. So I need to be better. And then it still wasn't enough. Why do I feel like invisible? Why do I feel like the least favoured, the least desired? Like, I just want to know, like, is that racist, or like, is it in my head?
Oh, it's obviously not. Some people don't realise that they are being racist, and I think that, like, people don't realise that they have, like, racist thoughts or ideas, but, like, they've been conditioned to be like, well, black isn't beautiful, or that person's not really, like, given much to this scenario, so I'm just going to ignore them. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's unconscious. And for the most part, it's not intentional, it's just what we've all been taught. Racism is such a horrible word. Nobody wants to think they're racist. And it does take, like, you know, people to kind of, like, look into themselves and just be like, actually, I have thought that, you know.
How do we play our part to change this? Like, sometimes you feel like you can't speak about these things.
It's very British, though. We're taught not to talk about it. It's like it's something, it's such a taboo subject. People are afraid to admit that they've done something that is considered racism, and you may not have meant it, okay? Like, I know there's not all bad in people. I really believe that everyone's got good in them. Like, I remember when my mum used to take me to certain management companies, I won't name them now because they're still friends and that's all good and it's all love. But when I was 15, they told me and said, we've got one black person, we can't have another. And I got that a couple of times. And one thing that's like actually comes to my head right now is being told to bleach my skin. Being told that I'm too dark to be in the industry. I'm going cold talking about it because I really actually don't like talking about it. You need to bleach your skin because you won't sell any records. That's what's so fucked up about this industry, and that's what makes me feel at times where I go, I don't want to be in this industry. You know, they took my confidence away so much that I couldn't be me.
By the way, brown skin girls black girls can sell records.
Yeah.
That's because it's been proven.
Yes.
They're kind of being brainwashed to think, no, this is what works. And she's like, oh, so we're just going to ignore Lauryn Hill or Mary J. Blige, or oh, we're just going to pretend that that whole era didn't happen. No. We're all amazing, different shades. I wasn't planning to say this, but when I was about to exit the group Sugar Babes, I don't know if many people know, but I didn't actually leave. I was replaced while still being like in the band.
Didn't know that.
And I remember being sat down and I was basically told, you know, this person feels bullied, that one there feels bullied, this one. And I was like, I was giving that one a foot massage legit like the day before. You know, if I had an opinion, you know, it was very much like, okay, you're being a bully. And that was the word. That whole situation changed the course of my life. Wow. It affected me emotionally, mentally, financially. I have like confidence issues and just feeling like the whole time, like I couldn't have an opinion in the workplace. And it's taken me years to recover and I'm still in the process with therapy and things like that.
Actually, it's funny because if you see an independent, strong black woman, all of a sudden you are an aggressive woman, you're overconfident and nobody wants to talk to you. And I know so many women within this industry who are writers, producers, go through the same thing.
Do you feel like if I was dark-skinned, I'd be in Little Mix?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you're right in the middle of pop music. You are in a as white as it gets environment. Because I visually don't look black, I can hide it. And I've been hiding it. Subconsciously, when people know me now and look up my songs now, I make dance music. But when I signed my record deal, I was an R&B artist. I used to make beats. I used to sing 4-part harmonies. I grew up in church. I was so connected to my black culture and my heritage. And I was so excited to put music out and I was told, no, this isn't gonna work. There's no place for it. It won't work. You can't do that. You have to embrace the white in you, suppress the black in you. That's how I felt. It's a tricky thing to even say out loud because I'm grateful for that opportunity. But the fact is, I felt like I didn't have a choice.
Do you know what the tricky thing is as well? You know, to answer your question, yeah, I feel like you definitely, if they were looking for a minority, they were looking for a minority to be in it to sell records because you know what, let's be honest with you, it makes it a little bit more cooler. Do you know what I mean? So I think if you had like a couple of white managers like in a room and they wanted to throw someone of color in, of course, being mixed race, the more you look like a white person is more acceptable, palatable. I don't know if this is a compliment or not, but you were chosen for your blackness.
Do you feel that way?
I'm still kind of like struggling to talk about it in general.
Okay.
So the fact that it comes down to the token black girl, like you do see it in other girl bands, like it's kind of like a sort of, not a trend, but it's happened so often. I feel like today was like a bit of therapy. Like I think everyone kind of just was so open. The things that Alex had to go through in Keisha, I'm shocked. It makes me think more into the fact that there are so few dark-skinned females right now in the music industry. What is it about dark-skinned women that they don't deem it to be marketable? It really does make me think, like, if I was some shades darker, would I be sat here right now? Like, I don't know.